Hi, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can start trading without losing a lot of money, or at least without losing your own money. So this video is basically to show you how, if you have $100 to trade, if you have less than, $100 to trade, especially, you probably are going to be, having a tough time making a lot of money or a decent money from trading, because honestly, as a trader, you really need access to capital, right? So in this video, I want to show you how you can get access to bigger capital, right? And how do you do that? And this is also one of the ways that most people that you see out there right now who are top traders, who are posting their daily, live payouts and all on social media, this is the same approach that they are currently using. And in fact, many people right now are trading using this method. Okay, so I'm going to be telling you about prop firm, right? You should get a prop firm. Prop firm are proprietary firm that gives money to you as a trader to trade, and then whatever money that you make from the accounts that they actually give you, then you get to keep, let's say, 80% of it. And with a prop firm, you can start trading anything from $5,000, $10,000. Like, this is a life-changing opportunity for traders. However, it doesn't mean that every prop firm that you see that they just accept traders just like that, right? Before you can even get started to trade with any particular prop firm, there are certain rules and regulations that you have to do. There are evaluation that they have to do. Like, the company, they are not just going to give out the money to you just like that. Oh, here's $5,000, start trading for us. They want to give the money to you because you can trade. They need a way to know that you actually can trade, that you are a good trader, and then they can give you the money. And I can tell you, you can trade up to $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, $5 million as a trader, right? So in this video, I'm just going to show you, how to go about it and what you can do. Now that I've told you about prop firm, how do you choose a prop firm? Okay, so there are so many prop firms out there, and of course, many of them are very good. Many of them are in the business to just collect the money from traders. You also need to also understand that prop firm, how they make money, right? Of course, prop firms, they want you to trade using their own capital, so that if you make, let's say, $1,000 on the accounts that they give you, then they give you 80% of that money, then they keep 20%. However, most prop firms actually make money from the challenges fee that you are paying them. So for example, when you are going to choose a prop firm, I think we should actually talk about that also very quickly. There are three firms that I really would recommend that you can actually go with. And the first one is Funding Pips. The next one is Funded Next. And another firm that you can also trade with is Equity Hedge. I trade with all these three prop firms. I've had good experience with them. And especially with Equity Hedge, I've already gotten payout from them. I started with like a $5,000 account with them. I've got a $10,000 account. I've gotten payout. In terms of risks to reward, I am profitable with this particular firm, Equity Hedge, and they also, they offer a very nice payout system. Okay, so let's go back to the to what we're talking about. How do you choose a firm? You want to choose a firm that has the best evaluation condition, right? Every prop firm has what they call evaluation. So before they give you the money, like for example, before Funding Pips will give you access to, let's say, $5,000, there are certain challenges that they want you to pass. They want you to prove that you are a good trader. Now, this is where it gets tricky. That as a trader, can I trade? Right? Can you trade already? Right? So, and this is where I'm going to also talk to you about what is really important for you to know before you actually get started with prop firm, right? There are certain things that you actually need to know. First of all, you need to know how to trade. But it doesn't mean that if you can't trade yet, that you cannot go with prop firm. Prop firm, to me, I think is really one of the ways for you to become a good trader, because prop firm has a lot of rules that you have to follow when it comes to trading. Like, if you are trading prop firm, there are rules that you must follow. For example, you cannot risk. They give you how much money you can lose per day maximum. They also let you know how much money that you can lose overall. So following all these rules especially makes you to even become a better trader, right? So if you want to get started with prop firm, one of the first important thing to know is that you are going to be doing this the right way. Okay, you have to first of all have the mindset that, okay, now I'm going to become a better trader. And for you to become a better trader, honestly, prop firm can help you to get there very, very fast. Especially, I'm assuming that you already have a working trading strategy. And a trading strategy basically tells you, okay, when price, what am I trading? Like, which pair am I trading? Am I trading forex? Am I trading indices? Am I trading commodity? For me, I trade only Nasdaq, and I started this. Um, I now specialize in trading Nasdaq just last year, 2025. I used to trade just randomly. I trade GBP USD. I trade gold. I just trade anything. I even trade signals. But after I have documented a lot of my trade, I realized that, wow, I'm not making a lot of progress. And then I got an advice that, if I stick to one pair, like, just trade one thing, and then I will gain understanding of how that particular pair actually moves. So based on all the pairs I was choosing, I decided I was going to be trading Nasdaq. And honestly, I love trading Nasdaq. Nasdaq moves very clean, and it's also predictable. And this is the reason why I chose Nasdaq. And so I'm assuming that as soon as you want to start trading prop firm, that you already have a trading strategy. And a strategy is not just about how do you enter a trade. It's also about, okay, what are you going to trade? What are your risk tolerance and stuff like that? Now, to go back to the main video itself, which is about prop firm in general, how do you get started with a prop firm? So I told you already that the three top firms that I'm recommending is Funding Pips, Funded Next, and then Equity Hedge. So let's talk about Equity Hedge, for example. If you want to get started with a firm, the first thing you need to do is that you need to go to their evaluation info criteria. You need to take a look at it. So, for example, this is Equity Hedge. Equity Hedge has three or four evaluation accounts. Now, for this four evaluation account, evaluation means that you need to prove yourself first as a trader before they give you access to those big capital. For example, if you want Equity Edge to give you a $5,000 trading account, right? You come here, then you click on, so they have different trading packages, accounts packages. For Equity Edge, I would recommend that you trade either Legacy or Swift. Okay, and honestly, I would recommend for you, do not trade a one-step account as a beginner. Like, do not trade a one-step account if you are just starting out with prop firm. Always go for a two-step. You want to go for two-step because two-step account most of the time offers you, let's say, what we call multiple allows you to have a lot of drawdown. So in trading, especially with prop firm, there is something called drawdown, right? Now, if you click on the Swift two-step account, you see it tells you that the minimum trading days is 2 days. The maximum daily loss, this is the number one thing you need to know about prop firm. They give you a specific amount that you must not lose in a day. So whenever, for example, they give you a $10,000 account, they are telling you that do not lose 4% in a day. Meaning that if you lose more than 4%, then you have failed your account. So let's say you gave them how much? $46. You deposit them $46 and they gave you $10,000 account. Now, anytime if you go ahead and lose this 4%, then automatically you have breached your account. You have to actually go and buy another account for you to start, trading again. Now, for prop firm, they have these two rules, especially the daily loss and the maximum loss. But I think the most important rule is the daily loss, meaning that how much money you must not lose per day. And honestly, this is one of the very most interesting thing about traders. If you're trading in your own personal accounts, you most of the time do not know when to stop. You just keep trading until you blow the entire money. But if you go through a prop firm, prop firms are going to tell you, look, this is the rule, follow the rule, and then you are going to be a good trader, right? So honestly, personally, prop firm has been one of the reasons that I've made a lot of progress in my trading journey. And I started trading prop firm, I think it was 2024, sometimes maybe around, I'm going to check my Funded Next or dashboard, or maybe 2023, 2024, I started trading and I was just doing rubbish. Like when I started trading prop firm, I was making a lot of mistakes. And then it took a long time before I actually realized that, oh, okay, prop firm are actually helping me to become a better trader. And gradually I start to realize that, oh, okay, the daily loss that they said I should not lose, I actually should not lose it. You know, the max, I need to protect capital, and capital preservation is one of the most important thing. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to quickly say that before I go into the main topic right now. How do you get started with a prop firm? So how to get started is every prop firm wants you to pass an evaluation challenge. Before they give you access to their capital, the 10K, 50K, 100K, they will give you first of all a challenge. You are going to deposit an amount of money. And how do you know the amount of money you're going to deposit? So let's say you come to Equity Edge, which is this website. You can just go to equityedge.io and then scroll down to their evaluation account. Let's say you have $50, that you wanted to trade with. Instead of trading it in your own personal broker, you come to Equity Edge, click on their 5K account, click on the Swift. I recommend that you use Swift on Equity Edge. Click on the 5K account and always use this two-step. As I said, always use a two-step account. And then in phase one, now they have what they call phase one and phase two. Now, when you are going to, for example, look at the amount. Equity Hedge is going to give you $5,000 account for $22. How awesome is that? Personally, you don't have access to $5,000 to trade, but now a firm is willing to give you $5,000 account in exchange for your $22 account, but they are giving you some conditions for you to prove yourself that you are actually a good trader. And what do? The first thing you do is that you pay them this $22. Then they give you an account they call a phase one account. In phase one, you have to pass what they call profit target. On phase one of this 5,000, they told you that start trading, make 8%, and 8% of $5,000 is $400. So they are telling you that on this account that we just give you, on this challenge, make 8%, and they are telling you to make 8% without losing 8%, which is maximum loss. And also, in a day, you should not lose 4%, right? So this is very important for you to know. And let's say you started trading your phase one and then you pass, you make 8%. Then they want to verify that you really, what you did is not by luck and then you know how to trade. Then they take you to the phase two. Now in the phase two, you need to make 5%, right? And this is, if you already make 8%, the same system and strategy that you use to make 8%, and you use the same to make 5%. And then you still follow the same rule. You don't lose 8%, you don't lose 4% in a day. And if you follow this, then automatically you will get funded. They are going to give you the live account of the $5,000, And then when you are funded on the $5,000, the rule still applies. You still have to follow the rule of 4% daily risk and maximum 8%. Now, any profits you make here, you can make withdrawal. And every firm, most of the firm, they give you like 80% profit split. Equity Edge will take 20% of the money you make on the live account, and then they give you 20%. They take 20%, they give you 80%, right? Well, imagine the opportunity that prop firm is giving you. You give them $22 and they give you $5,000 account. You can even say, okay, on the $5,000 account, you have access to $400. But imagine you are getting access to a $400 live trading account versus your $22. So these are the opportunity of prop firm. Now, of course, if you feel like you have a lot of money, you could go for the 10K account, which costs you $46. You can go for the 25K two-step, $142, a 50K account. Imagine you're even trading a 100K account, right? So, and that's a big flex, right? Imagine making 1% on a 100K account. That means you're making $1,000 every single time, right? I'm going to make a separate video about risk and how to pass prop firm. But for now, I think just for you to know how to choose and how to get started with a prop firm. Of course, if you have any question about prop firm, you can always put it in the comments. I'm going to read it. I'm going to, answer it for you. So this is about Equity Edge. Let's take a look at Funding Pips. Funding Pips as well, they have their own evaluation challenge. So just for you to know, there is hundreds of prop firms out there and you can choose anyone you want, but I am recommending this theory because I've had a good experience with them. And for example, now look at Funding Pips. Funding Pips allow you to also have, they have two models. They have the Funding Pips account and the Funding Pips Pro. But like I said, always go for the two-step challenges because the two-step challenge gives you more flexibility. It gives you more rules. It gives you lesser rule and less stricter rule, and it gives you more drawdown for you to actually trade with. And if you want to go with Funding Pips is a little bit more expensive than Equity Edge, but they are also a very good company. For example, the Funding Pips two-step account, their own 5K is $36, while Equity Edge is $22, so you can see the difference. And the only difference there is just the firm, running maybe some promotion at the time, but all of them are really good. So, I mean, all these three that I mentioned are good. Not every prop firm are good, so you need to be careful. And there's something I need you to be aware of is basically the difference between a one-step challenge and a two-step challenge. A two-step challenge means that you are going to trade uh, two steps in your challenge phase before they give you access to the live capital. A one-step challenge means that they are going to give you one challenge, but then it can look interesting for you that, oh, okay, I just need to take one challenge and then I'm going to go to the live account. But no, the rules in the one-step account is very strict than the rules in the two-step account. If the one-step account is good for people who are already like professional traders, like very sure that, okay, you know how to pass and you can trade, you can make profit. So it's best that you always go for two-step, especially if you're new, if you're just new. I go only two-step account. I've tried one step before, I failed some of them, so I just stick with two-step because I have more drawdown to trade with and I have better rules and conditions. And then finally, let me show you Funded Next. Funded Next also, they have their own challenge. And Funded Next challenge too, they have the two-step, they have the one-step. Always go for the two-step. And I would not also recommend that you go for the instant live account. The rules is too much. Always go for the two-step challenge and pick any of the challenge that you actually can afford, and then read the rules and regulation and get started. Okay, now that I've talked to you how to pick that, I've also told you the account size to go for. Now, how do you actually get started on an account size? I need to really tell you something. When it comes to account size for your prop firm, especially if you're just starting for the first time, always go for the lowest account size. So let's say you go to Equity Edge and you click on their Swift plan, two-step challenge. Go for the lowest that you know. At least don't go for 2.5K, but at least start from like 5K. Start from a $5,000 account, because if it is your first time, maybe very likely you're going to lose that challenge. And then if you go immediately and want them to give you a 50K account because, oh, trading a $50,000 account looks very good. What if you don't know how to trade it yet and you don't know how to pass their challenge? You don't know their rules and regulation yet. So always start with a very small amount, a very small account, like a $5,000 account, pay the challenge fee, pass the challenge. And then the challenge, they allow you to trade for as long as you want. The trading period is unlimited, meaning that don't try to pass the profit target of 8%, like the same day you bought the account, or very too fast. Just make sure that you have a good trading system, take it very slow, and then you can pass. So if you want to pick an account size, especially when you're starting out, always start with the least account, like a 5K. Then as you progress, then you can now start to scale your capital 10K, 25K, 50K, 100K, 1 million. Because if imagine that this firm, Equity Edge, can give you 100K, Funded Next can give you 200K, and then Funding Pips can also give you 100K. Imagine you have accounts in all the firms. Easily, you can have $1 million in trading capital, and then you can start to trade, right? And finally, let's talk about trading your prop firm. What are the things that you need to know? What are the most important things? First of all, every prop firm has the rules and regulation, right? The simplest rule and regulation to follow is every prop firm tells you that in a day, do not lose certain percentages of the money that we have given to you, right? So for example, for Equity Edge on the 5K account, they said don't lose 4% in a day, meaning that you should not lose 4% of $5,000. Do not lose $200. That's the meaning. So if you're entering your trade, you have to calculate your stop that, okay, I'm risking only 1% per trade. And this is a very good way to trade. For me, anytime I'm trading in a day, I risk between 1 to 3% or 1 to 2% per day. If I'm aggressive, I can do 3%, but I would not advise you to do that. I would advise that if you're just starting out, risk anywhere from 1%, per day or per trade, okay? So that at least at the end of the day, if you lose that trade, you still have more chance of trading, So always calculate your risk correctly. And another rule they have is the maximum loss. The moment you lose 8%, then automatically the challenge is over, and then you need to to start again from the beginning. You need another $22 for you to start again from the beginning. Now, every firm, they have other rules that are not visible or that they don't make known over here, that for you to actually know the rules, you need to read their FAQ section. So for every prop firm account that you're going to buy or company you're going to trade with, always read their FAQ section. And under their section, you're going to be able to see the trading rules. For example, there are rules around news, that when there is a news, do not trade. There are most of the prop firm, they have a specific condition that when there is a red folder news happening, you cannot trade. How can you check if there is a news that is going to happen today? You can always go to forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com is going to tell you when there's a red folder news. It's mostly red folder news. So let's say for me now that I trade NASDAQ, if I'm trading NASDAQ and I'm expecting to, let's say, buy, so I first of all need to come to Forex Factory, check that, do I have a USD news that is happening, right? Because USD news is going to affect NASDAQ, right? So I know that between 345, I should not be trading. And it doesn't mean that between 345, for equity edge, for example, they told you that the rules for our news trading is that 2 minutes and 2 minutes after, you should not be trading, okay? And there are so many other rules that you just need to be aware of. So anytime you are picking an account with any firm, make sure you know the rules and you are going to be fine. Know the rules, don't trade around the news, maybe 2 minutes before a news and 2 minutes after news, don't trade. Respect the daily drawdown and always check the news. I think if you do this, I think you're going to be having a lot more opportunity to trade. Probably in another video, I'm going to be sharing more information about how I trade my own personal Forex challenge account. And if you have any question, put it in the comments. I'm going to answer them. I'm going to, just, look into it. All right. And if this video has helped you, I hope that you subscribe, and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.